Many projects have shown that Roadbond EN1 reduces common reoccurring failures when compared to lime stabilization over an extended period of time. For instance, in 2001, the city of Arlington, Texas widened Matlock Road from 2-lane blacktop with ditch drainage to 4-lane concrete pavement separated by a median. The plans required that 8 inches of concrete paving be placed over 8 inches of lime-treated subgrade. However, the transition areas between the now widened new construction and the narrow existing intersecting roads were stabilized 8 inches deep with Roadbond EN1. Those sections were then paved with a 4-inch asphalt overlay. Roadbond EN1 was installed in the eastbound section of the transition area, and then the lime was placed in the eastbound lane. It took 2 weeks to install the lime section. Once that was completed, the Roadbond EN1 section was paved. Traffic was then diverted to the eastbound lane, and the construction was repeated on the westbound section. After the Roadbond EN1 was installed in the westbound transition area, 7 inches of rain fell over the next 5 weeks. The Roadbond EN1 section was exposed to the rainy weather for 5 weeks, but required no rework prior to paving. After 2 years, the lime-treated section has extensive breaks and separations that have already required maintenance. The Roadbond EN1 section has no cracks, faults, or soft spots and has required no maintenance. After 7 years, a few cracks have appeared in the Roadbond EN1 section, but no failures or soft spots. The lime-treated sections have worsened further and have required more maintenance. In August 2001, Home Depot expanded into Mansfield, Texas. However, until Target develops the corner of the site, Home Depot customers must travel the one-way service road of US 287 back into Mansfield. That would be a 1.5-mile detour. The solution was to build a temporary road that bypasses the service road. Construction of this road was started on Saturday morning. The Roadbond EN1 was distributed over the clay soil and thoroughly mixed 8 inches deep. After mixing, the soil was compacted to density and placed on grade. Sunday morning, the section was bladed and finished. Tuesday, the section was paved with 2 inches of asphalt overlay placed directly on the stabilized clay soil. Paving could have occurred 1 day earlier, except the asphalt was not available on such short notice. After 2 years, there are no failures, soft spots, heaves, or pushes, and the road has required no maintenance. Target eventually developed the corner of the site as planned, and only 18 months later the parking area has extensive failures. Roadbond EN1 performed for over 2 years in the same soil conditions with no failures, demonstrating that it reduces common reoccurring failures. In October 2001, Phillips Lumber Company used Roadbond EN1 in place of lime to stabilize under the concrete paving of their new facilities in Melissa, Texas. The owner saved over $20,000, and 6 years later there are no problems and the paving has required no maintenance. Roadbond EN1 was also compared to lime stabilizations on several subdivisions in Tarrant County, Texas. These subdivisions were developed between 1997 and 2003 and provide a performance history ranging from 4 to 11 years. One subdivision is Willow Springs West, built in 1998. Phase 1 has lime-stabilized subgrade, and Phase 2 has Roadbond EN1 stabilized subgrade. After 7 years, Phase 1 with lime shows extensive repairs, and Phase 2 with Roadbond EN1 has very few repairs, only a few cracks on the unconfined shoulders. After 7 years, it is easy to see where Phase 1 ends and Phase 2 begins. Phase 1 with lime has many depressions, alligator cracks, and repairs. The Roadbond EN1 section still has a well-shaped crown and very few cracks. Avondale Ranch subdivision is across the road from Willow Springs West and was built in 2000 by the same contractor. Roadbond EN1 was used in the subgrade, and after 5 years, there are no problems at all. 8 years after construction, there are only a few isolated cracks along the unconfined shoulders. Again in 2003, the same contractor built Willow Springs Ranch, close to Avondale Ranch. The engineer was unfamiliar with Roadbond EN1 and insisted that the contractor use lime stabilization. After only 2 years, significant failures have occurred. Idlewood Estates was developed in 2001, and Roadbond EN1 was used in the subgrade. After 4.5 years, the streets have required no maintenance. These subdivision projects show a dramatic contrast over time between Roadbond EN1 and lime in the subgrade. However, the most dramatic project, Sun Valley Estates, was developed in 1997 and documents this contrast from beginning to end. Phase 1 was built with Roadbond EN1 in the subgrade, and after 11 years, the streets have required very little maintenance. However, Phase 2 was built with lime in the subgrade and only lasted 11 years. In 2008, after much repair and maintenance, Tarrant County was forced to completely rebuild the streets where lime was used in the subgrade. This illustrates the remarkable long-term benefits of Roadbond EN1. In conclusion, these are just a few reports and projects that illustrate the construction benefits and long-term advantages of Roadbond EN1. These benefits and advantages include increased strength and durability. Strength improves over time. Working table for construction in adverse weather. Controls the swell and reduces the permeability of clay soils. Less delay from placement to bluetop. Installation is reduced from days to hours. Much less water, labor, and fuel requirements. Saves natural resources. No adverse reaction to high sulfate soils.